Welcome. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are on our beautiful new earth. And welcome. We're starting a new event here, next phase of humanity, human to superhuman. And I'm going to do a little introduction, as some of you may be new to me and my work. So I am Sherry Mosley, and I am here in Sausalito, California, right by San Francisco. And I do Asian medicine work as well as shamanic work. And all of the shamanic work is primarily done in Akashic Enlightenment, where we open our Akashic records and the higher book of knowledge, the book of truth. And that's the enlightenment portion of Akashic Enlightenment. And for this session, we will be doing direct work in Akashic Enlightenment and going over how to open your Akashic Enlightenment. So this is going to be pretty immersive. So we'll be doing Akashic Enlightenment work where you open your Akashic Enlightenment, you receive direct guidance, okay? And that connection will be increased with me doing it with you, right? I'll be holding the frequency more open for you to make that connection. And then we will follow it up with a transmission. And I think that that's the order we're going to go in. Sometimes we do the energy transmission first and then the Akashic work. But I think we're going to start with the Akashic work first. But I'm going to do the introduction of Akashic Enlightenment first and foremost, because you're going to need that for the following 5 sessions, right? So we're doing this for 5 Fridays here. And yeah, may change a little bit as we go along. I'm usually very open to whatever the guidance is that comes in, how things may need to be adjusted as we go along. All right. Okay, so let's talk about our topic here for a minute. And our topic is next phase of humanity. And our new moon yesterday really kind of pushed us into this new realm, this new area that we are all going into. And I'm sure we've been all feeling it in one way or another, whether it's lack of sleep, intense energy, maybe even some like psychological upsets or emotional upsets, things from the past coming up to be healed or cleared. Pluto is all about transformation. And in Capricorn, it's been pretty intense. And I'm a double Capricorn, so it's been hitting my chart for 16 years now. This is where Akashic Enlightenment came from, right? It does that transformation. So now we're going to go into Aquarius, okay, on January 20th. And so this is really just starting to put us into a whole new era for our Earth. And everything is going to change a lot, right? Think of how much things have changed since maybe 2016. That's when things started to ramp up more, or maybe even like 2017. There was an activation that happened in 2016. That's when I got activated to do the Akashic Enlightenment work. And now we're coming into the next chapter. So it's going to be a 20-year cycle that we are moving into, and we are going to be evolving. But, the other thing is, we're already there. We're just becoming aware that we're already there, right? And we're going to see it in the material world shifting around us, which is the mirror of our consciousness. So in these sessions, we're going to connect directly to Akashic Enlightenment and just, see what guidance they have for us directly and help us to align with this big shift, okay, and how to navigate it. And yeah, anything else that will come in along the way to help us sort through all of this energy. I know it's been maybe a little overwhelming for some people, and all the astrologers are talking about 2024 is going to be the biggest year, and that can be a little overwhelming. So we're trying to come into a place of presence and alignment with Akashic Enlightenment, which is why I was given this tool to share with everybody at this time, right? It's to help us go through these deep transformations and awakenings, or be in alignment with them already happening, right? It's usually more of the resistance that then makes the awakenings more maybe catastrophic or abrupt, right? So we like to try to maybe temper the suffering aspect and move into more of a going with the flow and being aware of what's happening. And sure, you may be crying or experiencing great joy either way, but we want to get into that aligned place. And the aligned place is usually a place of peace or joy that's always present, even when there's chaotic things going on. So it's more of like you're not identified with the chaos that could be taking place, or all the changes that could be taking place. There is not a sense of a loss of self when something ends, right? It's more of a maybe grieving that it has ended and that now you're moving to something new. Okay. And, with this, there's also going to be like an activation, of course, of a lot of abilities, higher abilities with that. And, every soul is on their own path with that. That's kind of the superhuman aspect is as you raise your consciousness, you may become more psychic, all the clairs, clairvoyant, clairsentient, all of them. And each soul is kind of on their own trajectory for that. So don't compare yourself to others. And we'll just see, maybe what abilities are there for you specifically and see what they bring in. So we're going to have Akashic Enlightenment questions that have already been channeled in, and we're going to do those each time. And those questions, they're almost like, I usually call them like an alignment protocol, right? They come in a chunk. And so what they do is as you answer the questions, you're answering it to the best of your ability in your Akashic Enlightenment, allowing yourself to step out of the way as much as you can and just, allow it to come in and write it down, right? And this is just going to help you to receive the knowledge, but also receive the energy and the alignment of what's coming in. And when there are sequential questions like this is how you break down the ego, right? The ego is like, what's this? Why is this happening? And I want to know this. It wants to control, it wants to say, and the soul just knows. Okay. And so that process brings you into alignment and out of resistance as we go through the questions. And then the energy transmission is just going to further that along even more. Okay. All right. And again, I know everybody is a little bit busy and some people are doing this live and others recordings. Either way is fine, whatever works for you. I'm going to pull up our Akashic Enlightenment handout here. Okay, let's see here. Wrong folder. So for those of you already trained in Akashic Enlightenment, this will be a bit of a review. And this will be a bit of a crash course for those who are not trained in Akashic Enlightenment. If you want the full training, those are available as recorded webinars on my platform. And you can do those at your own pace, or you can do the one-on-one trainings with me as weekly sessions. All right. Just, there we go. All right. So I'm just going to kind of skip over, all about Akashic Enlightenment, and we're just going to get to the gateway prayer. Okay, so overall, you only want to open your own Akashic Enlightenment. You don't want to be opening others. It takes a lot of practice to be in that high level space with somebody else. Okay, and you don't want to do this while you're asleep or driving. You want to be in kind of like a meditative place or state. No alcohol within 24 hours use. Some medications can interfere unless you're already kind of like settled on the medications, then it shouldn't have too much interference. Helpful crystals will kind of help increase the connection. If you have some crystals you like to work with, I prefer moldavite and the phenicites, the higher frequencies crystals. And then you always want to use your full legal name. So this is first, middle, last name that's on your driver's license or passport. That's more or less your stamp in the universe. Okay. And as we know, once we go into Akashic Enlightenment, we're going to ask questions. You can use it for other things like meditation, or connecting at a sacred site like Mount Shasta or Sedona. But in this case, we're going to be asking questions. And of course, I use it to open the field to do the transmissions, which is another use of it. It's more advanced. But in this case, we're using it to ask questions that are already provided, not just provided, but they're channeled in. And when the questions are channeled in, they hold like a frequency of a specific alignment or intention. Okay. And we're going to record or document what comes in. And that means you're going to have a pen and paper and you're going to write down what comes in. It's just going to stream in as higher knowledge or feelings, sounds, words, a dialogue, images, colors, shapes, a solid knowing. There could be smelling something. And so you're just going to go ahead and write all of that down. Okay. All right. So when we go into the field, you'll just feel the energy kind of shift, maybe getting heavier or denser, maybe kind of like you're in water. Some people feel pressure on the crown of the head. That can also happen. You're just going into a higher resonance field. And it can take some getting used to. So if you're not used to being in this higher frequency, you may be a little tired after these sessions, and that's normal. You're just getting used to going up to that higher level frequency. All right. So nothing to be concerned about or worried about there. And in general, now that you have the prayer, feel free to use it daily if you want and start practicing in your own practice while we're doing this event. And you can always go back in and like on the days off that we're not doing this and ask more questions about the information that you already received, right? A deeper dive. And sometimes that's really fun because then you're asking about higher knowledge that you already got, right? So then you're taking it up to an even higher level. All right. So the prayer itself, the gateway prayer, okay, this was given to me through Ascended Master Jesus, ultimately. And I was given it to teach, and it is a very high frequency prayer. It is not just Akashic Records, right? So we're doing Akashic Records, which is, the Book of Life and the Book of Truth. So we're opening two books with Akashic Enlightenment. So it makes it different than just doing Akashic Record work. Just want to clarify that. And that's also why the frequency is so high with this prayer, is the enlightenment portion. Okay, this is specific for ascending. All right, so the way that you do the prayer is there's an opening prayer and a closing prayer. And the opening prayer you say out loud one time, just as it's written, with your full legal name and the four bullet areas. So the me, I, and my. All right. And then you're going to say the prayer two more times quietly to yourself with your full legal name in the bolded areas. So first, middle, last name in me, I, and my. All right. So 1 time out loud, just as is written, 2 times silently with your full legal name in the bolded areas. At the end, you can say Amen. It's not required, it's not religious. It's more of just stating, okay, I'm at the end of saying the prayer, opening the space. Then you may just feel like you're adjusting. You can just ask to be, hey, move me to the center of my Akashic Enlightenment for this session. And then we start doing the questions. And then after the questions, then we can close unless you want to keep it open during the transmission. All right. And yeah, and we're not doing the prep meditations today. All right. So, are there any questions about opening your own Akashic Enlightenment there? All right. Pretty straightforward. Those that are joining live, I know 2 of you are trained and 1 of you are new to it, but I think you're a fast learner. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and go into Akashic Enlightenment and answer questions. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stop this. Okay, so everybody go ahead and go into your Akashic Enlightenment, and then I will start posting up the questions and going over them with you. Okay. Just give you another minute here to open up. Correct. You read it as it is out loud 1 time, and then read it 2 times silently, putting your full legal name in the me, I, and my bolded areas. So 3 times total, 1 time out loud as it is, and 2 times with your name inserted 4 times. First, middle, last name. Get the questions here. Okay. Are you in, Tarek? I know you're new to this, so just let me know when you are. I know that the others are already in. Okay, so you should be in by now. Okay, so now we will do our questions. I will read them out loud. If you need to read them quietly to yourself after I read it, you can. And generally, I don't recommend jumping ahead because we're kind of in the same energy field here. And yeah, you're just going to write down whatever comes in and don't second guess it. Okay, just write it down. And if it's a really short answer, you can just ask for an elaboration on what they just said. Like, what does it mean that my soul blueprint is upgrading? Okay. All right. So, our first question: what is it like to awaken? What is it like to awaken? And again, you may get words, you may get energy, and just document whatever occurs. Write down, even if it's an energy shift. And then with this, what is the process, right? So, what is it like to awaken, and what is the process? They may show like shedding old layers from your energy bodies, learning to surrender, as it says here, to listen and follow guidance. And there may be like a mapping of the process. Okay, almost like it's setting up a structure for you. All right. And now we're going to go deeper. Okay. Remember, you can always come back. All right. Sometimes there's a lot that comes in, sometimes there's a little, but we're going to just kind of go with the flow here to keep pace. So, what is it like to be a superhuman? What is it like to be a superhuman? Maybe things like unattached to who you think you are, fully aware and awake of your true being. There we go. May also just be a feeling of peace or joy. And then what other lifetimes or timelines did I experience being a superhuman? Here we go. And so there's just like a scanning through many timelines. You may see one specifically, zoom in, or just get a general story of a couple of them. They may be on Earth or other dimensions, other planets. Hmm. Yeah. And then as you see all these timelines, see how you successfully evolved past being a human to a full evolved, conscious superhuman or super being. See what your life was like. So they may pick like an Egyptian timeline or Lemurian. And just see. Just keep writing down the description of it to keep it playing if you're not used to just watching it clairvoyantly. Hmm. Good. Maybe see what your life was like. What did you do daily? What was your greater purpose in that evolved lifetime? Maybe you were teaching others, leading others, doing healing work, working on advanced technologies, connecting with other higher beings or extraterrestrials. Beautiful. You may be getting some elaborations on your purpose. But the reason you're looking at that is so that you can look at, well, what is your greater purpose now that the timelines are helping you align with? So, this past or other dimensional timeline that you were a full evolved conscious human and aligned in your purpose. Well, what is your greater purpose now that that timeline or those timelines are helping you align with now? There we go. I'm just seeing a lot of light energy come in. So you should feel it's like a crystalline white light coming in. Hmm. Maybe you will see your abilities, your kindness, love, compassion, presence of your true self, allowing your true self to come through, allowing yourself to align with this truth. So maybe a sense of starting to move to the other side of these questions. Okay. All right. So I do feel that we're in kind of this new space. I think this is where I'll open the space more to do our energy transmission. Oh, there's two more questions here. So the what am I learning in being this aligned superhuman? And how is it truly helpful? So this will just kind of ground it in. So what am I learning in being this aligned superhuman? What am I learning? And then how is that truly helpful? Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. I'm just going to flow with this and open the space more and do our transmission, which may be a little shorter than usual. Okay. Okay, great. And so now we're just settling in. And these sessions are a little different because we're actually going to connect with the divine lords of light because there's this just beautiful blue palace dimensional space that is opening that actually began opening in November when I was channeling my next book, Lessons of Light, working with the divine lords of light. So they are the ones helping us to prepare here. So we're just going to travel dimensionally more to this beautiful temple space. It looks kind of crystalline and blue. Um, Setting aside any fears. So we have our guides, Ascended Master Jesus and Archangel Metatron with us, our spirit world guides. And we're kind of standing in this, it's like an open courtyard in front of this temple, but it's all crystalline. And they're just showing that there's just a great unmasking of the world that is occurring, a great and deep unmasking. Beautiful. And now I see the Divine Lords. It looks like I've never seen this before, but they're writing light language codes. They're writing light codes and kind of placing them in front of each of you, helping you to shift. And it's more of letting go of what is no longer needed, the dismantling. Almost like it was armor that was a part of an old paradigm that is crumbling and falling away. And now a pillar of light comes down around each of you. We're kind of in the circle in the front of this temple. And the Divine Lords just have this pillar of light working on you. And the energy just feels really soft and light, not intense. Almost just very soothing. Almost like they're going through and rewriting, canceling out any of the unnecessary thought patterns, ways of being that are not part of your true self or your awakened, self-realized, superhuman self. Okay. Just letting this be let go of. And now it looks like they're taking us in deeper now as they move us inside of this dimensional temple, divine lords of light space. And they're showing us the greater plan. You may be getting like a lesson or an example of this plan. It's almost like they're showing it. And just hearing light language, almost like they're speaking in light, letting you understand the greater plan and you're part of it, and that you're so loved. And they know that it can be overwhelming. But by showing you the plan, they're reassuring you you are in the exact right place at the right time, right now. And then they sit each of you down, just wrapping you with strings of energy and light, almost like cocooning you. Yeah, it's like a ascension blanket. And again, clearing out any misaligned thoughts or patterns, being and then pouring in pure crystalline light of your purely awakened self, superhuman self. Allowing this diamond light to keep permeating. I'm just continuing to gently weave the structure of light. And now they are bringing you out of the depths of the temple, coming back to the front yard of the temple, and starting to reorganize your energy structures as they remove the cocoon, putting you back in the pillar flight. It just feels like a rehabilitation center booth of light, giving you a reprieve from the energies of earth and their constant flux or misalignment, immersing you in this bath of aligned frequency, reminding you to template from this place because this is what is true. And now they're just helping you out of the pillar of light. And we are escorted back from that dimensional plane, coming back to the room and the space that you're in, coming all the way back, wiggling your fingers and toes, coming all the way back to this room and this dimensional space, the room and the space that you're in, feeling your hands and feet, wiggling your fingers and toes, rubbing your hands together, coming all the way back. Oh, ooh, good ear pop. Sometimes there's an ear pop to bring you back into this dimensional space from another. And I'll go ahead and close out the space to help you ground in more. All right, and this completes our transmission. All right, so just settling back. Take any notes on anything that you wish to remember from the transmission. Yeah, so this was pretty different than some of the other ones. Yeah, a lot different. Yeah, different energy. Um, hmm, yeah, feels a lot. It's just a whole new chapter, a whole new way of doing this. It's so different than the other transmissions that I've done before. It's a very different frequency, also kind of like a different modality or way of doing the energy. Yeah. I know you guys did a lot of questions before as well. And we may flip it next time. Yeah. So I'm just going to check in. We can do any sharing in. I'll put the prayer up if you want to close if you don't have the prayer. And I will post this up as well, the prayer for you on the server so you have it. Okay, here we go. So you just do the closing prayer one time out loud with your full legal name in the bolded areas. Bolded area. So I'll read it with you. Thank you, dear beings of light, for the enlightenment healing guidance I have received today. I now wish to return to my full source human self, fully integrated in peace, love, and light, enlightenment and healing intact, all dimensions, times, and planes. And I ask for my enlightenment to be fully intact. So I now close the records of Lydia Mosley, say your full legal name, and close the book of truth for now. And now they are closed. Amen, amen, amen. All right. Not sure how the editing thing opened there. All right. So all closed. Welcome back. So any sharing we can open up to here in the chat. Yeah, any brief sharing from your questions or the transmission. And again, you can always go back in on the questions that you did. If you felt a little rushed on some things, you want more information, you can go ahead and just get more information over the week. And you'll be in the energy field the whole 5 weeks that we're doing this. So you may get connected to or visited by the higher beings or the divine lords of light as part of that. Yeah. Maybe you guys are still totally in it. And I kind of like popped us out there at the end. Yes, Jenna, this was awesome. I got a lot of information I need to process. Okay, great. Yeah, your level of experience with Akashic Enlightenment may shift the results that you get, which is fine. You know, we're all here practicing and bringing in what you can with what we are able to bring in. Yeah. So no judgment, better or worse or any of that. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, we'll just let everybody go ahead and sort out everything. The first session's a little heavy because I teach Akashic Enlightenment for that one. So the following sessions will have more time to just kind of, we can do some more sharing at the beginning of the next session on what we did this week. And if there's any questions about that, and then I'll see if we're going to do our transmission first or our questions first, and then we'll proceed. All right, so I'll post the replays up. I will post up the prayer. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody for joining. Okay, yeah. So Tarek's questioning a little bit. That's okay. You're new, and there can be a lot of questioning, whether you're doing it right or am I making this up, or yeah, when you're first new. So just, yeah, you can try it some more over the week. Yeah, but just know that that's common. And if there's anybody else new who's doing the replays, it can be common to kind of question everything. Just that's okay also. Just being in the field, that's already going to start to switch things. Yeah. Oh, okay. Janice is saying very intense, a little woozy coming out of it. Okay, good. Yeah, it's hard for me to gauge the intensity of what it's like for you guys. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we are on the cusp of the new moon as well, right? It always increases things. But thank you so much for joining and participating, doing your light work. And I will see all of you next week. All right. Lots of love and light, and bye for now.